I'm your host, Derek J. Simpson, Executive Director of the Long Beach Community Action Partnership. Our first guest on today's show is the Digital Communications Director for the Long Beach Convention and Visitors Bureau. Please welcome Lauren Alexis Simpson.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, Director?
Yes, Director.
Yep, I wanted to be sure I had that right because there was a recent promotion involved.
There was, about a week and a half ago. So
Yeah.
very excited
Congratulations
about
on that.
Thank you.
So one of the things that prompted me to do this interview with you was I was reading the Long Beach Business Journal, and then all of a sudden I see this story. And the story says, from celebrity stylist to social media ambassador. So for those who don't know anything about you, let's start with the whole celebrity stylist thing. How did you even get into that career?
I literally fell into it. In college, I babysat for affluent families in New Orleans, and then I moved back home. A friend of a friend needed a babysitter. That person just so happened to be Brooke Shields. Then I became her nanny for a couple of weeks, then became her executive assistant for nearly 5 years. From that, I then had a child, my oldest, Chloe, and then went from working with Brooke to working for the West Coast editor for Marie Claire magazine. I worked my way up the ranks there, became associate West Coast editor for Marie Claire, and what that entailed was acting as liaison for Marie Claire on various cover shoots with different celebrities, and then I started styling. So with that person, I became an assistant stylist and then a stylist.
Now, stylist as in wardrobe stylist.
Wardrobe stylist.
Right? So specifically, what were your duties in that regard?
People tend to think that styling is very glamorous, and it's not. It's fun, definitely. You get to shop at all the great places and jewelry, and it's amazing. But there's tons of schlepping. So it's garment bags, it's boxes of shoes. I mean, I would have an SUV full of shoes.
With a cash value of approximately?
I would have to sign waivers for millions of dollars.
In your SUV?
Wish
I knew where you were parking that.
Right. Some of it, if I wasn't going back to set that day, I'd have to even bring it inside, of course, and not leave it in the car. But yeah, it was tons of fun. I was able to do styling on a book by Gwyneth Paltrow, a cooking book. I've styled Jennifer Lawrence.
You got credit in that cookbook,
I
right?
did, yeah. She shouted me out saying thank you, so that was awesome.
All right.
I also have worked with, so Gwyneth Paltrow, Jennifer Lawrence, Blake Lively did a red carpet look for her. It was a red Versace that is still iconic today. And tons of other people.
Okay. So you're going from Long Beach to the Palisades or to West Hollywood or Beverly Hills or wherever.
Every single day.
And all of a sudden then you get this opportunity to come to an interview in Long Beach. And
Correct.
how did that all take place, and how did you enter into this Convention and Visitors Bureau?
So I had a second child, Savannah, and you know, your priorities tend to change. And with those priorities changing, I knew that if I no longer worked a day in my life again, I didn't have anything that I could fall back on, i.e. benefits or any kind of 401k, et cetera. So I was shopping. I went out and started putting, vamped up my resume, went on LinkedIn, as well as gave my resume to people who I thought would have, had great influence as well. And that led me to the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Now tell us about your role at the CVB. What exactly do you do in that director's role?
So at the CVB, I am responsible for our social media handles, as well as anything going up on our site. A lot of the pages that you see on our site are pages that I've built. We're a membership-based organization, so any of the content that our members need up on our site is normally inputted by myself or my team. So again, social media, we have an e-blast called What's Up Wednesday, as well as anything going up on our website. And then we have a CRM as well.
CRM is?
So it's a database that handles everything for our convention groups.
Okay.
So any clients that come in, all their information is inside that database, as well as our membership.
Now, for those who don't know what the Convention and Visitors Bureau does. I mean, most would know Chamber of Commerce, you know,
Sure.
immediately what that's about. What exactly is the role of the Convention and Visitors Bureau? Some would say it's the marketing arm for the city, but what would you guys say?
So that's correct. We're the official marketing firm for the city of Long Beach. And our job is to promote tourism in the city, whether it be meetings focused or leisure focused.
Okay. And when you think about what you've done since you've been at the CVB, starting at the bottom and working your way up to where you are
Sure.
in all of 2 years or whatever the case may be, what are you most proud of since joining the CVB?
I'm extremely proud of our social media channels, everything that we've been able to accomplish there, from our increased followers to the content that we have on social media. The fact that I came into the CVB using a hashtag that had just been created, and now there are people using my hashtag every single day. And we're talking about people from 10 followers to 110,000 followers. So it's amazing.
Now, what are some of the big events thus far that you've been involved with, either as in creating them or in actually helping to make them happen?
Well, one that I was involved with creating was the Sandy Awards. We had, for the past 2 years, we've had a video contest. Last year, we included photography. And with that contest, because of the overwhelming support from the community and just people loving the contest itself, we then hosted a Sandy Award. So Sandy, Long Beach Sand.
Gotcha.
We thought it was genius. But we had the Sandy Awards, which is just an award ceremony to really honor those who entered the contest. The content that came out of that contest was incredible.
Yeah.
It was content that people were shooting on incredible equipment. Excuse me.
I've seen, I think, first of all, your boss, Steve Goodling, is a champion of ours here at Long Beach Cap, but one thing about Steve is he always does things first class. And those Sandy Awards are literally red carpet type events. And I was always impressed with the drone footage that some of those artists did there. And then, as you said, this year, when you guys expanded it to photography too, it's pretty amazing. In fact, we would love to have a lot of that content here on PatNet as this continues to evolve, and let them take advantage of what we have as a resource and vice versa. But so you got the Sandy Awards, and then what else is going on?
Powwow has been a fantastic event that's been here.
Now, I'd never heard of that, but that's like an internationally famous event,
It
right?
definitely is. So it originated in Hawaii.
Right.
And it was a group of friends who were artists, creative types. They went into an area of Hawaii that was extremely poverty-stricken and decided to put their talents to use. So they started painting murals, large-scale murals on buildings, and then that entire neighborhood is a completely different place now. It then expanded to Taiwan, Japan, of course here in Long Beach. They did a stint at South by Southwest, and they're everywhere.
I want to go back to social media again, because I was in a presentation recently, and the gentleman was saying texting has become the high priority medium of all of us as a society. He went on to say that 59% of consumers say texting is preferred communication for them, and that 98% of texts are open, whereas only 22% of emails are open. When you think about facts like that being thrown out there, and you're a social media expert, quote unquote, what goes through your mind in terms of the power of social media when it comes to the CVB or to agencies like us and other businesses? What would you say in terms of the power and the potential?
It's exciting to see that I'm not the only one who sees that anymore. People who speak the language that I speak see that anymore. I think it's an incredible tool that any and every person, business can use and utilize. It's funny because I had lunch today. Well, I didn't get a chance to go out for lunch. I've been in meetings all day. And a colleague left a to-go box on my desk, and it said hashtag not a hamburger. And so even my colleagues speak to me in hashtags. So it's definitely a culture that's grown, and people are finally adapting to it. They're taking it in and are embracing it, which is amazing.
Now, the CVB, what do we have to look forward to in 2016 and into 2017? What are some of the big things? Because this show is being recorded, but so not to date anything, but what are some of the big things that we should look forward to as a community? I know last year you guys launched the big Christmas tree lighting, so that's coming up in the holidays, but between now and then and beyond, what we have to look forward to?
I would say you need to definitely follow our hashtag Beach with Benefits.
Okay.
Also follow This Is LB, so this is Long Beach.
Okay.
But we have tons of things going on. Everything from the Longines Masters that's coming into town at the end of this month. So the 28th through October 1st, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have the tree lighting again, and that's going to be fantastic. We're actually going to raise the tree. So
Okay.
it'll
Okay.
be an even more dynamic presence in the plaza. Aside from events, though, we also have different venues that are opening up. You spoke to the innovative spirit of my CEO.
Okay.
And with that said, we have different turnkey venues that are opening up. We handle social media from a leisure standpoint as well as a meeting standpoint. And for our business and trade folks that are coming into town, our facility is incredibly unique because you get everything you need in one place. Whereas normally you need to come in and bring in your lighting and rent furniture, we have all of that in-house. So coming up into the new year, we're going to have new venues opening up, new turnkey spaces, opening up at the center.
Well, hashtag I'm out of time. Thank you for joining us. We're going to
you.
take a short break, and when we come back, we will be meeting with Melissa McGinnis from Long Beach Local News. Stay tuned for more of Long Beach Lens, and thank you.
Hi, my name is Ingrid Archie, and thanks to Prop 47, I was given a second chance at life. Prop 47 is a California law passed by an overwhelming majority of voters in 2014. This law allows us to reclaim our lives by changing felony convictions for lower-level nonviolent crimes to misdemeanors. In fact, I am one of over 650,000 people estimated to be eligible for this felony reduction. Prop 47 can help you change your record and remove barriers to employment, housing, and college loans. Look, we all make mistakes, but not every punishment fits the crime. I was given a new opportunity, so now I'm giving back by helping others get a second chance too. But you need to take the initiative because the clock is ticking and the window closes in November 2017. So don't wait. Remove the barriers, change your record now. If you or anyone you know could benefit from Prop 47, share this. Together we can rebuild our communities.
Welcome back. I'm Derek J. Simpson. Our next guest is the co-founder of Long Beach Local News. Please welcome Melissa McGinnis. Hi.
Yay! Am I in my own studio
Yes,
audience?
yes, you are. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, for those who don't know who you are, give us a little background of how you got to the point of being involved with Long Beach Local News.
Well, my name is Melissa McGinnis. I was actually born at Long Beach Memorial Hospital.
Okay, we went way back.
Yeah, way back.
Okay.
Well, not that far back. Raised in Seal Beach, attended Cal State Long Beach.
Okay.
And then moved right after I graduated to Los Angeles, and I worked as like a global entrepreneur for many, many years. And I had several business development contracts with Fortune 500 companies, one of them being Pepsi and Waste Management. They were working on a program to increase recycling rates in the United States. And they asked me as a marketing consultant, how would you do that? And I said, why don't we create, this is when like YouTube was brand new. I was like, why don't we create a web show and show how fun it is to be sustainable and sustainable initiatives? And they were like, no questions asked, here's your budget. I hired my cousin Ryan to be my cameraman.
Okay.
And we set out for about 6 years nonstop, a global travel world show, if you will, on all things sustainable and green. But we made it fun. We made it really, we'd go to concerts and talk about recycling at concerts. We even grabbed President Obama during the unfortunate Gulf spill and talked to him about some sustainable initiatives. And the result was we did increase recycling rates since Waste Management was our partner. They were able to really monitor the rates by 40%. So it was a tremendous success. But what happened was my cousin Ryan and I were exhausted, if you will. We had been on a plane probably every other day for, like I was saying, 6 years straight. And we came back and took a year off, literally, and slept and just said, what can we do now that is in the similar format, but without travel? And Ryan at the time had moved back. He'd been living in Long Beach for about a year. Everyone was persuading me to come back. My family's in Seal Beach and Huntington Beach, and my friends are in Long Beach. And I was like, you know what? I guess I'm going to take the dive and move back to Long Beach and give this a shot. And so we started January 2015 as a way to be a host and a cameraman and an editor, but in a format where we could really make a difference and, again, didn't have to travel.
So then that leads into Long Beach Local News.
Yes.
Now, tell us the genesis of that and what made you guys say this is the way we want to move forward.
This is it. Well, Ryan has been kind of a camera prodigy since he was a child. He would sell clips of the news to the larger stations when he was like 12 years old.
Cool.
So he was always on the beat here in Long Beach. So he'd always had in the back of his mind that he really wanted to work in a news capacity. I, from a business development perspective, saw a huge opportunity in Long Beach that there was not a broadcast news station here. One of the largest, most important cities in California, if not nationally. I felt there was a huge void in that area. So we brainstormed and kind of came up with this concept of let's do the news for Long Beach, but in a serious news format sitting at a desk and co-anchors and the whole bit. And we thought we'd be laughed out of the city within a couple of weeks because it was really ridiculous. I mean, we really we're the news, we're your source, on the street interviewing people. We had a couple of people ask us, like, who do you think you are? And we're like, we're the news. I think if we hadn't had the experience that we had behind us, obviously I don't think we would be as proficient or where we are as advanced today. But we really do have a lot of history, to our credit, of being on the street, doing impromptu interviews. I mean, I've interviewed almost everyone that I can, think of all over the world, Prince and Sheiks and this and that. So there's not a lot of intimidation when it comes to me needing an interview or going after something.
So I don't make you sweat here then?
A little bit. Your beautiful studio made me a little nervous. But with that being said, we also both have a true, authentic love for the city. So I think, again, that's another component of why it works. We really do love the city.
One of the things when we initially created PadNet that I had in mind was that oftentimes, as you said, we're a major city, but we get regional coverage from the local media. And so therefore, it's typically murder and mayhem that you see when you hear about Long Beach. And though you guys cover everything, you do at least provide balance from that news perspective. And you are, from a video source, the place to go. So where can people find you when they want to hear what's the latest that you have to offer in terms of news? Where do you direct them now?
I think our biggest audience right now is on Facebook. We have just about 41,000 followers, which are organic followers. They happen literally overnight. And they provide us now news tips. We're very interactive with our audience, which I find extremely valuable. We really want to cover things that they want to hear. When I'm out doing a story, I ask questions that I think they might want to know. That's the number one audience. Obviously, you can go to longbeachlocalnews.com. And you can get a lot of information there, same stories. And hopefully we're back up and running with PadNet with a set time one of these days. We'd love to be your anchor news source.
Well, we're ready when you are. What would you say if you were to be able to give a mission statement for Long Beach Local News? Not that you necessarily have an official one, maybe you do, but what would you tell someone who walked up to you and says, what exactly is it?
To provide value to the citizens here. Whether that's information, whether that's breaking news, beware, and also whether that's good, positive news. One of the things we're known for is that we do spend a lot of time promoting and proclaiming the good news. And I think that's why we've kind of been monetized along the way, if you will, because people see value, and we're not here to doom and gloom. We're also really here to inspire and provoke, and we've seen a lot of other kind of video entities pop up and, just really say, Long Beach, you deserve to be on the map.
Right. And do you find that the leadership of the city is embracing you?
I think so. The mayor kissed me on the cheek the other day and said, nice job, which I found very flattering.
Okay.
It's been a year and a half that we've been on the street running. I think when we first showed up, everyone was a little bit shocked. And then I think it went through a place where they probably thought we'd leave. And then I think now we've kind of shown that we have staying power, and at this point I think we're kind of respected, and I think people know that we're a two-man operation and that we do this because we love it. We're obviously not rolling in dough over it, and we work really hard at it, and we believe in it, and I think we have street cred, if you will, respect because of that.
Now, you mentioned partnering with possibly us here at PadNet, and I would say that yes, we would love something like that to occur, but what's your vision for going forward? If you had the magic wand that you could wave to say, in a perfect world, this is where we would be as Long Beach Local News, what would that look like for you?
Well, I've been very transparent about where I would love to go with this, which is I'd love to own a station here and for Long Beach. And I've Googled, how do you start your own news station? KTLA, how does that happen?
Right.
A lot of times it's one person had an idea and created it. I don't know if I need to buy a satellite station or how that's going to happen. I hope at one point we can partner with the city. There's the new Civic Center going downtown. The Port of Long Beach is our title sponsor. I hope one day that we can all get our heads together and say, Long Beach deserves this. Here's the income or the finance that we need to get it started and have it kind of just happen.
Right. Yeah, I know for years we've focused on that as a community, and I think the closest we got were the weather cameras on top of the buildings to get that regional look. But you're right, there is so much content here, and I noticed one of your more recent stories was maybe at the car show. So you cover all the bases.
Wasn't that fun?
It was. So when you talked about people giving you leads on what they would like to see, how would you encourage them to do that? Is it through Facebook, or are there other ways they can reach out to you?
Our email is info@longbeachlocalnews.com. A lot of our tips come in from there. We also have a Google number. It's on our website and also on Facebook. I forget it off the top of my head. It has the word news in it, so that's helpful. But we get all the emails that come through. We read them all. We vet them all. We can't be everywhere, but we really try to choose, a plethora of different things and try to serve all the different types of communities. We've got North Long Beach, West Long Beach, Belmont Shores. We try to serve all of the different communities and not just focus on one area.
Now, that was a question I had. Is it just Long Beach, or do you like Signal Hill or Seal Beach, if there are things that are happening that are contiguous with Long Beach, or is it just within the boundaries of the city of Long Beach?
Well, we found where we actually keep finding that our audience is not just Long Beach.
Right.
It's the surrounding areas. It's also, and we have an international audience, which is crazy. So when there are news happening, we call it our sister cities. Yeah, we give the news here in Long Beach for the sister cities, and people watching, they want to know that information.
Now, you have an eclectic background. I'm learning about you as I'm doing this interview. What would you say to other young professionals who aspire to basically be not only doing what they have a passion for, but you're an entrepreneur in that you're talking about creating an entire network, and you've done that with Long Beach Local News. What would you say to young aspiring professionals or college students that will follow in your path to pursue their dream?
To just do it. Half the time you won't get paid for doing it, but if you love it, find a way to do it. That's what gives you just satisfaction at the end of the day, is doing it. So for me, no matter what I've done or accomplished in my life, normally it started out that I've done it for free until I figure, usually money follows passion. So find what your passion is. Don't be lazy. Do it. And don't take yourself so seriously. If I took myself so seriously, I'd probably not be where I am sitting here today, because, I make mistakes and I mess up and I say a word wrong or whatever. Yeah. You have to laugh it off and enjoy life. Enjoy the journey. You have to find joy every single day out of every single moment.
We only have about 2 minutes. Is there a particular story that you've done in Long Beach Local News that just stood out in your mind, like, wow, I'm glad we had an opportunity to do that one?
Oh my gosh, probably every time I get to report on the Long Beach Rescue Mission. Okay. The Long Beach Rescue Mission is such a valuable resource here in the city, and I've come to know it and love it and see that it's really about rehabilitation. It's not about handing out. It's about taking in someone and rehabilitating their soul and healing them from the inside out, usually through God's word, which I find is just the way to go if you're looking for healing. So any story and anytime I get to report on the Long Beach Rescue Mission, I feel like I'm here on this planet for a purpose and I'm doing my job.
That's a beautiful way to end. We're out of time, but we're not out of opportunities.
Bring me back.
I will, and work on that news concept and other collaborative efforts. I think that I found here at Long Beach Community Action Partnership is it's getting people with like minds in the same room, and I'm always amazed at what comes out of that. So thank you for joining us on this show. And I'd like to thank Lauren Alexis Simpson as well as Melissa McGinnis for joining us on today's show. Be sure to follow PatNet TV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest updates. We also welcome your comments and thoughts regarding this show as we strive to make Long Beach Lands a favorite source of local news, information, and entertainment. This show has been brought to you with support from the Long Beach Community Action Partnership. Thank you for watching Long Beach Lens.